On the surface, Bayern Munich look unstoppable. They're a juggernaut, a goal-scoring machine that seems destined to sweep aside anyone in their path. But football is never quite that simple. As they prepare to welcome Sporting CP to the Allianz Arena, the German champions are facing a few quiet question marks. Key players are managing knocks, and for the first time this season there's a whisper of vulnerability. And their opponent is no pushover. Traveling to Germany is a sporting side in the form of their lives, brimming with confidence under their highly rated coach Rúben Amorim, and knowing that a single point could be vital for their Champions League knockout hopes. So the stage is set for a classic European night. Will Bayern's relentless attack, even if not at full throttle, prove too much for the visitors? Or is this the perfect storm for Sporting to pull off a historic upset and send shockwaves across the continent? This is the irresistible force versus the informed challenger, with a precious advantage in the race for the round of 16 hanging in the balance. Let's start with the obvious. Bayern Munich are a phenomenon. Domestically, they have been in Imperious form, flying high in the Bundesliga. They've been scoring goals for fun and look like the powerhouse we've come to expect. Their campaign hasn't been flawless, with a notable recent loss in the Champions League, but the response to any setback has been utterly ruthless. They recently reeled off an impressive string of domestic wins, including a 5-0 demolition of Stuttgart where Harry Kane started and scored a magnificent hat-trick. That win also marked a welcome clean sheet, a sign that perhaps they are plugging the few defensive gaps that had appeared. At the heart of this machine is of course Harry Kane. His transition to German football has been nothing short of sensational. He is the focal point of everything they do well and has been absolutely prolific since his arrival. But this is where the narrative gets complicated. This is where the cracks in the armor begin to show. For this crucial clash, the German side will be navigating some significant absences and fitness concerns. They will be without at least one key player due to suspension, putting pressure on the squad's depth. More critically, there are doubts surrounding the match fitness of two of their most important players. The creative genius of Jamal Musiala and the blistering pace of Alphonso Davies, both of whom have been carefully managed after recent knocks. While Davies may be fit enough for a place on the bench, a long-term absence has been avoided, but his readiness to start is still a question. The potential absence of a fully fit Musiala could rob Bayern of that unpredictable spark, that ability to unlock a defense with a single moment of magic. Without a 100% Davies, they lose a world-class attacking outlet and recovery defender on the left flank. Suddenly, the unstoppable juggernaut looks a little more human, a little more reliant on its sheer power and structure, which could be tested. Now let's turn our attention to the visitors from Lisbon. Under the guidance of Rúben Amorim, Sporting CP arrive in Munich not as tourists, but as genuine contenders for a result. They are a team riding a serious wave of confidence and challenging at the very top of Liga Portugal. Their form isn't a fluke. They are a well-drilled, tactically astute side that knows how to get results. Their mission in Munich is clear. In the new Champions League phase, every single point is precious to secure a top 8 finish for direct qualification, or at the very least, a favorable draw in the knockout playoffs. A draw would be a monumental result. A win would be legendary. They need this. What makes Sporting so dangerous is their consistent ability to find the back of the net, especially on their travels in Europe. They have a fantastic knack for scoring away from home, proving they are not intimidated by hostile atmospheres. This isn't a team that will simply sit back and absorb pressure for 90 minutes. They have the quality and the belief to pose a serious threat. Their attack is boosted by the availability of key creative players like Francisco Trincao and the prolific Pedro Goncalves, who will be central to their game plan. However, their own team news isn't perfect, with a couple of players dealing with injuries. Furthermore, their record in Germany is historically poor, with just one win in their last 17 trips to the country in European competition. Facing a Bayern side, even a slightly wounded one, at the Allianz Arena is their toughest challenge yet. But with qualifications so close they can taste it, motivation will not be an issue. Before we get to the final prediction, we have to address the ghost that looms over this fixture. For Sporting fans, a match against Bayern Munich brings back memories of one of the darkest nights in their European history. Back in the 2008-09 Champions League round of 16, these two clubs met and the result was an annihilation. Bayern Munich defeated Sporting by an astonishing 12-1 on aggregate, which remains the largest margin of victory in any knockout tie in the history of the Champions League. It was a brutal lesson in elite-level football. After winning the first leg 5-0 in Lisbon, Bayern showed no mercy in the return fixture at the Allianz Arena, running out 7-1 winners. The goals that night came from a host of Bayern stars. Lukas Podolski scored twice, while Bastian Schweinsteiger, Daniel van Buyten, and Miroslav Klose all found the net. And in a little piece of history, a certain 19-year-old named Thomas Muller scored his first ever European goal. For Sporting, their solitary consolation goal in that second leg came from a young João Moutinho. A small moment of defiance on a humbling night for the club. While that was over 15 years ago, and the teams are completely different, that history adds a fascinating psychological layer to this match. For Bayern, it's a reminder of their historical dominance. For Sporting, it's a chance to banish a ghost, to prove how far they've come, and to write a new, much more positive chapter in their club story. So where will this game be won and lost? For me, it all comes down to two key areas on the pitch. First, the ultimate test. Sporting's central defense versus Harry Kane. It's the most straightforward yet most difficult challenge in European football right now. Kane doesn't just score goals. His movement, his link-up play, and his intelligence pull defenses apart. Sporting center-backs will need the game of their lives. They must be disciplined, communicate perfectly, and resist the urge to get drawn out of position by Kane's clever dropping movements. If they can isolate him and cut off his supply line from the midfield, they give themselves a fighting chance. But if Bayern's midfielders like Kimmich and Goretzka can find Kane in and around the box, it could be a very long night for the Portuguese side. The second key battle is in the wide areas. With some question marks over their usual starters, the onus will be on players like Leroy Sane and Kingsley Coman to provide the attacking thrust for Bayern. Sporting's fullbacks will have their hands full. They must decide when to press high and when to drop back to protect against the pace and dribbling of Bayern's wingers. If Sporting's wide defenders can contain their counterparts and limit the number of crosses coming into the box, they can starve Harry Kane of service. But if Bayern's wingers get the upper hand, they can stretch the Sporting defense and create the space that their star striker thrives on. This is the tactical chess match. It's Sporting's defensive resilience and organization against the depth and relentless attacking patterns of Bayern Munich. This is one of the most intriguing matches of the week. You have a Bayern team that is, by any measure, one of the top sides in Europe, but they have a few knocks and absences that take away some of their shine. On the other side, you have a Sporting team that is in peak form, brimming with confidence and fighting for their Champions League lives. Sporting's impressive attacking talent suggests they could find a goal. They have the quality and belief to hurt Bayern. However, the fortress that is the Allianz Arena cannot be understated. Bayern Munich have an incredible unbeaten home run in the Champions League group stage, stretching all the way back to December 2013, winning the vast majority of those games. That is an absolutely staggering record of home dominance. Even with some fitness concerns, Bayern's squad depth is immense. Players like Serge Gnabry, Mathys Tel, and the evergreen Thomas Muller are more than capable of stepping up and delivering a top-class performance. The muscle memory of winning, especially at home, is so deeply ingrained in this club. I expect Sporting to put up a brave, organized, and spirited fight. They will likely score and make this a much closer contest than the history books might suggest. But over 90 minutes, the sheer quality, firepower, and home advantage of the German champions will likely be the deciding factor. It will be a tough, hard-fought battle, but I believe Bayern will find a way to get the job done. I am predicting a 3-1 victory for Bayern Munich, but that's just my take on it. This is a genuinely difficult match to call, and I can see a strong argument for a Sporting upset. I want to know what you all think. Will Sporting's incredible run continue, or will the Bayern machine roll on? Drop your score predictions in the comments section below. I'll be reading through them all. Thanks so much for checking out this preview. It's shaping up to be a fantastic night of Champions League football, full of drama and high stakes. If you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more match previews and analysis throughout the season. I'll be back with more content very soon. Enjoy the match.